Is everybody in?
Before we get started,
Everybody in?
does anyone want to get out?
Everybody in?
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows
Ceremony
things
is
are bad.
about to
It's a
begin.
depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. We don't go out anymore. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my... I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. At first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Good evening. Good evening. Madilim ba? Peace be upon you and all that you care about. Good evening. Thank you very much, wherever and whenever you are watching this. I hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for checking us out, joining us this evening. Today is Friday, September 23rd, 2022. It's 9:13 in the evening. Belated happy birthday to my sister, Maria Hana Kimura. Kelly. Maria Hana Kimura Kelly. All right, tonight we will just enjoy the evening. I just wanted to continue on since I've been just reading poetry lately. I'd like to continue on with that particular series. Good evening, Ma'am Kat. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching. I'll borrow a few words, a few very wonderful words from Mr. Miguel Hernandez. He has been hailed as, what was the term? An authentic voice of the Spanish literature of the 20th century. Wow. During this time, what's the right word to use? It was a tumultuous time. There were a lot of upheavals in Spain. If I have my history correct, if I remember my history correctly, I think this was during the time of Franco. I'm not particularly sure. I would love to Google it right now. If you can allow me, Miguel Hernandez. Um, let's not dwell on the tragedy, but just so you have an idea, he died in prison. So please, if you have some time, check out poetryfoundation.org and look for Miguel Hernandez. You'll find his biography there. You'll find a lot of information about him there. This was around 1931 in Madrid. So I'm quite sure it was during the time of Franco, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. He is part of the group where a group of poets, well-known poets of the 20th century. They have an organization. If I have it right, this is Grupo del 27. This were Federico Garcia, Pablo Neruda, Lorca, Vicente Alexandre, something like that. Good evening, Sir Nimuel. Good evening. Thank you very much for dropping by. So these are the people in his neighborhood. So as they drew deeper and deeper, as they communed with knowledge, with wisdom, with the emotions of the time, they were inspired. They were they were coexisting with the events of the time. They were enthusiastic in creating their poetry, reflecting the emotions of the time. They were reflecting what was during this particular era in Spain, the changes, the abuses that were happening around the time. And they were well known for using um, alliteration. They were using decorative vocabulary to describe certain things. You could read their poetry as a love sonnet. You could read their poems literally, like you're speaking of a woman. However, they were trying to describe their love for their country, and they were trying to fight the the changing of the guards, as it were. So he was imprisoned, and sadly he died in prison. So he also had a wife, and I won't dwell too much on that. I hope that you will at some point find the time to look him up. He has beautiful words. He has very, very beautiful words for us. So, all right, for tonight, we will, we will borrow his thoughts. Oy, good evening, Coach Ricky. Sorry, kababalik lang, kababalik lang. So, sunod yung interview natin. Okay. All right, let's start. I'd like to start with his poem called I Call on the Youth. Llamo a la juventud. 15 years, 15 and 18 years, 18 and 20. I'm going to spend my birthday in the fire that calls to me. And if my hour sounds before 12 months, I will celebrate it under the earth. I try to leave behind a memory of sun and the sound of bravery. In every mouth of Spain of her youth uttered these words, biting them with the best teeth if the youth of Spain, in a single and fresh impulse, raised their bravery, stretched their muscles against the unscrupulous. Who would want to seize Spain? They would be like the sea, throwing on the ever silent shore horse dung from their transparent people. With a tireless arm of strong, enduring foam. If El Cid were to nail again those bones that still injure the dust and the thought of that hill of his forehead, that thunder of his soul, and that indelible, unmatched sword above his shadow of interwoven laurel. Upon seeing what the Germans pretended to do with Spain, what the Italians and the Moors and the Portuguese attempt to do, all who have engraved in our sky cruel constellation of crime soaked in innocent blood. Then El Cid would ride his enraged horse again with a celestial anger, and he would bring down the airport like tearing down the under a splash of rain, cluster of night dew, army of sun encamped rebellious bodies of noble Spaniards who did not submit to yoke. Clarity follows them, and oak trees look up to them. Among grim stretcher bearers, there are dying, wounded men, with their face suffused by sunsets so translucent that seems like strewn dawns around their temples, like sleeping silver, like resting gold. They arrived at the trenches and they said firmly, before anyone throws us out, we will plant our roots here. And death felt proud to have them. But in the black corners and the blackness, they fall, crying for the dead. Mothers who gave them milk, sisters who bathed them, lovers who have been cold as snow, but now have turned to mourning. And our feverish, disconcerted widow, tattered women, letters, and photographs, telling of them faithfully where the eyes get weary from so much seeing and not seeing them, so much speechless tears, so much absent beauty. Sunlight youth of Spain, may time pass and remain with rustle of heroic bones in its port. Render your bones to the field, render your vigor to the wild mountain ridges, and to the olive groves shine over the hill. Send away evil people, dare with lead, and extend your shoulders and legs. Blood does not overflow. Youth that does not dare neither shines nor blossom are neither blood nor youth. Bodies born defeated, defeated, and the grave they die. They arrive a century old, so they are aged when they come. Youth always advances. Youth always wins. The victory of Spain depends on her youth. Death alongside a rifle before we are thrown out, before we are spat upon, before we are insulted and dragged hopeless in the last ashes of our hometown, before we cry bitterly, O Spain of my life, O Spain of my death. Let's try to parse it out. Let's try to break it down. I hope you don't mind if you have some time. I am not saying this is how he means it. I wouldn't know for sure how his thoughts were when he wrote it. A lot of analysis would be available online, but this is mine. This is my personal analysis of it. I don't believe it requires a time of turmoil for us to call on the youth, to call on the young ones to inspire them, to give them an opportunity to heed a particular call and listen to a voice. If at our age of my generation, I was born 1981, how many of my generation would be professionals at this point? Some of them would be professors, I guess. Some of them would have a divergent career path to mine. But there should be at least that one voice of that generation, of that time, of that era to lead the next. I was fortunate enough to receive mentorship from so many generations, from so many eras. I have had the privilege of being under, being taken under the wing as far back as people who were born in the 1920s and the 1930s. I had that opportunity, I had that privilege. And maybe that's why I heed to their call. Most of these people are asking that we try to pursue something worthwhile. I guess maybe with their age, since they come from a time of hardship, a time of tilling the earth, a time of war, time of struggle, they understand that with sacrifice, with hardship comes strength. You cannot expect someone who has never lifted his arms, who has never moved about, who has never traveled, someone who has simply sat down under the comfort and stayed in the comfort of their own homes or the proverbial tree under a shade of a tree, meaning allegorically simply provided for by their parents, their guardians, or everyone and anyone. If they had never had that experience of finding their own voice, finding their own strengths, having certain responsibilities at a young age, it's very hard to believe you would know true value of certain things. If you have not earned anything by your own sweat and tears and blood under the sun, under the heat of the sun, how would you expect to value it if you've gotten something so easily? It has very little meaning to you. You have no attachment to it. So I guess this is one of the things we need to remember. It's one of the things that we need to continuously educate our children on those that we come across with in our daily life. Instead of spreading a message of anger, instead of spreading a message of hate, instead of spreading a message of confusion, try to spread a message of of inspiration. Try to spread that message of pursuing a worthwhile goal as they have done before them, as this message have been passed down to them. Maybe there is a message you can pass down. What would be your message? I was fortunate. Most of the people that took me under their wing, Tita Cory, Tita Grace, Sir Dodos de la Cruz, Anthony Abella, Sir Bong, Dad, um, Olan Simeon, uh, Mrs. Evangelista, Miss Pabalate, and so many people I won't be able to name because will take too long. Most of them ask of me to just spread the message of truth, however it is. Yes, there is a way to speak the truth without hurting others. However, sometimes the truth is as is. We cannot clothe the nakedness of truth. And when you speak the truth, you will offend someone one way or the other. You can't go into life authentically if you will try to please everyone. So I guess the message I would have is a message of authenticity. Not that I'm saying I am 100% authentic, but I am trying. I am doing my best. I am, as much as I can, trying to be as honest as I can. And I just want you to remember that you can inspire anyone and everyone you come across with. It's just a question of what kind of inspiration you can be, especially with the power of social media, with the power of this tool, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Maybe instead of promoting hate, promoting confusion, promoting self, what's the right word? Low self value. Instead of selling yourself, sell your dreams, sell your thoughts, spread that message that you have. Instead of taking off your clothes, instead of showing your skin or something else, share a message. Share a message of hope, be a source of inspiration, share your wisdom, share the honesty that you experience in each and every day. There's no need, I guess, to prolong the inevitable. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that I don't get angry. Of course not. I get pissed off. Yes, there are going to be a lot of detractors along your way during your journey, but it's your choice. Like the whole premise of this channel is life is about making choices. So you can choose to be a positive force. Good evening, Ma'am Nina. So you can choose to be a positive source. You can be a source of happiness instead of pain, a source of self respect instead of an example of shameless, say, shameless self disrespect. What do I mean by disrespecting yourself? This is for the women. So I have sisters, I have a wife, and I have a little girl. Is this a worthy hill to die on? But I don't care. This is what I think. So I'll say it as it is. If you do not put value on yourself first, no one will value you. We'll start with that. You can be confident. Yes. You can be proud of yourself, your physical form. Yes, of course. It's no problem with that. No issue with that. But if you start showing too much of your flesh, then you lose your value in a way. In a way. That's how I see it. If you keep putting yourself in situations where you appear to be nothing but that, then that's the example you're setting for everyone that you will see you, for everyone that will follow you, for everyone that will see that. And that's a lasting impression. They will see nothing beyond that because that is the standard you have set for yourself. Yes, somewhere along the way you can change that, but I don't think it's a good thing to do. Good evening to everyone on Facebook. I'm sorry if I can't see your names. I'm sorry if I can't greet you on air. Hindi naman ako nagpipreach, no? Sinasabi ko lang, Tagalogin natin. Kung hubad ka lang ng hubad online, let's say teacher ka, you have that certain position to influence. If your, let's say, TikTok account has nothing but you doing sexy dances, I'm not belittling anyone who does this. I'm just saying how I see it. Okay. If you're a teacher, tama ba na you do TikTok dances sexily, very haughtily, as if you're trying to seduce people watching you in particular? Hindi lang naman to limited dun sa teacher. Doktor ka. Magpapakita ka ng suso mo, magsasayaw ka ng sexy sa TikTok, sa Instagram, sa Facebook, or wherever. Is this the right thing to do? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. To me, I see it as a disconnect with your profession, a disconnect with what you should be seen doing. That's why I'm really happy to see that there are some transitions happening across social media platforms. May mga doktor na nagtiyatiyagang mag-TikTok kahit walang nanonood sa kanila about their profession, about their knowledge. They're sharing their wisdom. They're using the platform appropriate. There are teachers who use the platform to teach. So I see that shining light at least. There are others. So I'm asking if you do have any of these social media platforms, transform it in that small way. If you can use it to share your wisdom, to share your knowledge, let's not use it improperly simply just to go viral, simply to what? Spread the message of hate. Alam mo yun? Spread the message of disrespect, not only for others, but yourself, maybe. So to me, just that's how I see it. So good luck. If it's a hill to die on, then if it's a hill to die on, I don't care. Okay. Let's move on. Continuing with poetry now. The next one is called I Call on the Poets. Among you all, I take a seat on the earth. Liamos a los poetas. Among you all, I take a seat on the earth with Vicente Alexandre and Pablo Neruda. Perhaps because I felt their hearts close to me, almost touching mine. I felt deeper and more rooted in them, and more so less alone. You already know how alone I am and why I am so alone. I walk so alone, just my shadow in me. Alberti, Altolaguirre, Cernuda, Prados, Garfias, Machado, Juan Ramon, Leon Felipe, Aprecio, Oliver, Plaha. Let us talk of what we hope for, what we gradually go mad. Let us talk of work, of love above all, where cobwebs and spiders don't thrive. Today I want to forget about myself and talk with you of the good deeds and the good seeds of the earth. Let us leave for some other time the museum, the library, the icy classroom, bereft of feelings, without earth. I know that in those places tomorrow, my frozen heart will shiver in several volumes. Let us exclude the cocky air, the academic speech, the stalking panther. Let us talk of the day, of the emotion of the day. Let us leave behind solemnity in this way, without the false beard or that scholarly quote, that insolence put under our noses, united, understood, seated. We will speak of things in the world about man. In this way, we will step down from our pedestal, our poor statue, and the singing. We will enter a cellar, a man's chest, or the depths of the earth without the shine of a dusty lamp. Federico is there. Let us sit down at the foot of his wound, beneath the fountain of his betrayed blood, which I want to stouch as if it were mine, but it leaks and it's unappeased amid fountain. We were always source of blood. This is why we feel. a semblance to the weak. We never rest, and this is what the sun does in the family of man who loves. Belonging to that family, we are the salt of the air, so sensitive to weather, like salt itself. An autumn gust leaves us dying above the footprints of buried men. Yes, surely we are something. Our five senses grow in everything, asking for possession and madness. We besiege time with the happy cicada, with the earthly dream that we share. Let us talk Frederico, Vicente, Pablo, Antonio, Luis, Juan Ramon, Emilio Manolo, Rafael, Arturo, Pedro, Juan Antonio, Leon Felipe. Let us talk about the wine and the harbor. If you wish, first we will swim in that pool, in those waters that long reveal our body. I'll see if we'd speak later in the sincerity of water, so that the lips of those who have lied be cleansed. Sometimes our profession allow us certain power over people. We can assert our influence based on our standing. We can't deny that. It's undeniable. When you come from a certain family, when you come from a certain line of work, there is an air of prestige that comes with that. Even simply, if you come from a certain university, there's a sense of connection with the history and the force behind that. Some people use their influence abusively, maybe. They come from a prominent family, they take advantage of it. They try to get away with as much as they can instead of leveraging their influence to help others, or at least make a better world. I try to take it like I try to make it lightly. But what I'm saying is we tend to forget the power behind us, our history, everything that comes before us. Sometimes we don't consider that. Simply by graduating from a certain university, there's a sense of shared responsibility for us to take care of that, a sense of honor, a sense of pride. We are not only representing ourselves, but we are representing our namesake, those who have come before us, a whole generation that comes before us, and everything that we stand for, the institutions that we are connected to, the schools that we graduated from, the companies that we work for, and also, more so, the name that we carry. That's why I hold my name carefully. One of the reasons why I have a pen name, that's why this channel is named Elias Journeys, not Joey Kimura's Journey, is simply because of that. I am trying to earn the right to use my own name. I don't want to besmirch my own name. I am trying to earn my father's name, to have the honor and privilege to be called Mr. Kimura. I have not yet earned that name. I have not yet, in my own eyes, earned the right to be called Mr. Kimura. Maybe sometime I may be able to do so. I hope. That's why I try to work as honestly and diligently as I can. I would like to have the privilege of being called by my own name. So maybe that's the question I will leave for you tonight. It's 41 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your weekend. Have you, in one way or the other, earned the honor and privilege to use your name? Have you made your name, have you at least enriched the history behind you? Have you made anything in your life, however short or long it may have been? Have you at least added positively to the history behind you? What would you be leaving behind you attached to your name? There's a video on this channel, a tribute for a friend of mine that we lost to depression, to suicide. He has not been forgotten. And fairly recently, someone commented and asked a very beautiful question. Is there hope after death? Personally, I see death as a process, death as a step forward into the unknown, something that no one has ever come back from and told us anything about. So I'm hopeful about that. That's how I see the unknown, with hope, with I see the unknown with optimism. That's how I see it. I replied to that comment with, this is one of the many mysteries I wish I had the definite answers to. For me, I see that hope comes in life and we bring what we have in our life to the next. If we carry faith and hope in our heart as we walk amongst the living, then we carry it in the afterlife. That is what I believe in. If you walk with honesty, if you walk with faith, not with this religious thing, not with that. You walk with faith, meaning you believe in something higher than yourself. If you put yourself below anything, may it be a god, may it be an ideal, may it be something powerful enough for you to submit to it, and make yourself a tribute to that power. What do I mean? A tribute. You are sacrificing yourself for this higher ideal. However hard it may seem, you will continue on with the ideals. You will have faith in it. You will have faith in that particular process. You will have faith that you will have in some way a positive impact on a larger scale. A larger scale could be two people, a life other than yourself, your children, your wife, your friends, or anyone within your sphere of control. If you have faith enough, you'll be okay with the sacrifices that comes with it. So I guess that's it. That's it for us tonight. Can you find hope after death? That's a question I may have to leave you with for tonight. So again, thank you very much for watching. Have a beautiful weekend ahead of you. I hope in some way we are able, I am able to help you parse out your life, or at least ease the burden day to day. I hope I am bringing a positive message. I hope, I can only hope that is what I have chosen to do. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful and safe rest of your evening. Life is about making choices. Choose to find hope. Take it easy. Good night. God bless. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma'am Nina. Thank you very much, Ma'am Kat. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Is everybody in?
Before we get started,
Everybody in?
does anyone want to get out?
Everybody.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows
Ceremony
things
is
are
about
bad.
to
It's a
begin.
depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. You don't go out anymore. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my... I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. At first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.